YouTube, what's going on? My name is Argon. Welcome back to some product reviews. Today, we're going to be talking about the Scuf Impact now. I'm going to tell you a little bit of backstory about Scuf. If you guys don't know what Scuf controllers are, they're a company that makes these custom controllers that put paddles on the back. If you play Xbox, you might be familiar with the Xbox Elite controller that came out a year or two ago. Basically, that's built off of Scuf technology, but Scuf's been around for a long time. They've been making controllers for 360. They've been making controllers for PS3, I'm pretty sure. But I got my first Scuf controller back at Xbox One. It was called the Scuf One controller. It was super awesome. It's really good for shooter games because you can actually use your jumping paddles. You use jump and in the paddles. You can jump and change weapons or reload whatever without ever taking your thumbs off the thumbsticks. More recently, in more recent CODs, they've gone ahead and added some controller schemes that allow you to be able to do that, like stick and move, that don't require having the paddles. But in any case, having the paddles is always good. It's definitely a helpful thing for you. I don't think it's cheating. I know a lot of people think it is, but either way, I bought my first Scuf controller as an Xbox One controller, Scuf One. Very good controller. I used it amazingly. I loved it a lot. Switched over to PS4. Got the whatever they call it, the Scuf PS, whatever it's called. Use the default controller box for the PS4 controller. I don't really like that PS4 controller too much. I love the Xbox One controller. And what they did was they released a Scuf Impact about a year and a half ago, which basically had a custom housing that looked like and mimicked the Xbox One housing, which I thought was amazing. I had some unfortunate incident with one of the paddles on my PS4 original Scuf controller. It broke, so I went and took the advantage to go ahead and order myself a Scuf Impact. That was about a year ago, and here we are to do a review, guys. A Scuf Impact controller 1 year later. So this is it, guys. That's my Scuf Impact controller. It is a white one, and it's got 4 paddles on the back. Now the original Scuf PS controller had only 2 paddles on the back. Now the Xbox One will have 4, so this is cool that it has 4. It's mapped to all the buttons on the front, so you can do all of them on the back. So the options that I got on this Scuf controller, guys, I got the soft white shell on the front here. I blacked out all the buttons of these buttons, and then I also took the rumbles out, which, if you guys know, obviously when you're playing a game and you get some vibration in your controller, that's a rumble pack. They can remove it. I opt to remove it. It was a really good idea. I'm gonna go into all these here in a second, so whether or not I recommend them or not. I went with the default PlayStation knobs, the whatever thumbsticks. Now with the Impact and the newer Scuf Infinities, you get these little rings around the thumbsticks, which allows you to take them out, replace them if you need to. So that's it, guys. I also did not get any trigger extenders or trigger stops on this one for a couple reasons. And then this is the default Scuf Impact grip. I think they've got a newer grip now, but this was the only one that was available at the time that I ordered it. So my review, guys, basically starting with the ordering process, it's pretty straightforward. You can always get 5% off. There's tons of content creators that have discount codes out there. Your favorite person will probably have one. I don't have one yet, maybe one day. I went ahead. The ordering process is easy. The only thing I don't like about the ordering process is they don't send you a final configuration of what you actually ordered. So unless you save a screenshot of what you actually built, you may not be able to remember what you actually put in here. So for example, I don't know if I got trigger stops, let's say. I just have to base it on my memory. I can't go back and say, what did I add to this? So that part kind of sucks. Hopefully they add that later, or they have it now. I'm not sure. My biggest regret with this controller, guys, easily hands down, is this white shell. It's a soft white shell, so it's not like a standard hard plastic. It's got a little bit of a, how do I describe it? It's like it's just a little softer. It's a little bit not smoother. I don't know how to describe. It's kind of like if you ever held a racquetball, you feel that rubbery kind of feel to it. That's what this kind of feels like. Not as sticky as a racquetball, just a little bit not as smooth as a standard plastic shell would be. Now, it sounds cool, it feels cool at first, but what ends up happening is it gets really hard to, your hands will get sweaty easier, and it's really hard to control and hold after a while. Not to mention, you can't probably see it in this, but you might be able to see a little bit of discoloring that occurred right there. Yeah, you could sort of see it. So some discoloring occurred over time on the shell. I'm not a big fan of that, and I contacted Scuf to see if I could replace the shell, and unfortunately they don't allow that. So I would have to send it in and replace it with a new shell. It's just not worth it. So I gotta live with it. Everything else on this controller has been fantastic. The only other thing that occurred was I actually broke one of the paddles. Now, I broke a paddle on the old Scuf, but the way I did that was I dropped a controller on accident. Actually, I didn't drop it. I just went to put it on the ground, and then I dropped it from a good enough height so the paddle snapped. That's to be expected. But in this case, the jump paddle, which I believe is this one, or this one of them, over time it just broke, right? Which is called low cycle fatigue. Basically from, if you ever take a paper clip and you just kind of bend it back and forth, after like 4 or 5 bends, the thing snaps. It's called low cycle fatigue. It's something that plagues a lot of mechanical devices. This being a plastic, no doubt would have the same issue. They should be making it designed to last a certain number of cycles of basically presses of the paddle. Unfortunately, it broke. I don't know why it broke so quickly. Either way, that one broke, and the unfortunate part is all 4 of these are unique sized paddles, so you can't just buy a paddle and replace it. You have to buy a stack of 4, which is kind of unfortunate. It was like 15 bucks. However, the replacement process is pretty easy. These just, if I can do it while looking, these just really snap in place. I don't know. Oh, there. So you can see this one kind of like moved up, and then you can just pop it out. There you go. And so they're really easily replaceable. So that's one thing they did good with this controller, was that they made it easy to work on. It's modular in a way, and hopefully it will continue to be so. I know they're coming out with a new PlayStation version of the Scuf Impact, I think. I don't know, I forgot what it's called, but I'm excited for that. I might end up getting that, because if it's anything like what the Elite was, the Elite, they made a little bit better material selections, and it's always just better sometimes to get from the original manufacturer. But again, they are built on Scuf technology, so kudos to Scuf for making it big. Either way, I love this controller. I highly recommend it, guys, the Scuf Impact. If you like the Microsoft Xbox One controller, then you will love this one. If you like the PlayStation controller, the PlayStation Infinity FPS Pro, whatever it's called, also a fantastic controller. I don't think you can get it with 4 paddles. If you can, cool. I only ever use 1 or 2 paddles max anyway, so just having the ability to jump while not having to take your thumb off the thumbstick is all good. One last thing, why I didn't get any changes to the thumbsticks. This is really important, so hopefully you made it this far in the video. The options to replace the default thumbsticks is with a Scuf custom thumbstick. They're not very good. I know a lot of people that have had these thumbsticks and they just wear out over time, and they grind out over time. It's just not very good. And at the same time, I just get a Control Freak, which costs like 10 bucks, pop it on there, and I get the same effect as having a permanent selected thumbstick. So don't get custom thumbsticks through Scuf. It's just not worth your time. Keep the original PlayStation ones. It'll be a little bit better for you. Customize them with Control Freaks, because not only do you get the same look, but you can also, or the same function, but you can also change the look of your controller. So if I actually use both, imagine the little purple one on that side too, it'd be pretty cool. I just don't do it that way. But either way, guys, that is a Scuf Impact controller. 1 year later review. I don't think there's a lot of them out here like that. A lot of people do unboxings, they do first impressions, but not really a year later. Obviously, I play a lot. I wouldn't say I'm the above average user in terms of a Scuf controller user, because most people that would have a Scuf probably play a lot. So I'd say I play around what a normal Scuf user would use, probably not on the high end, because I'm sure people that have some Scufs play a lot more than me. So I definitely think I've used this enough. I don't think I've used it as much as some people would have. So if you've used this a lot, like you play 6 hours a day every day, let me know in the comment section below if you have something similar to this, what your experience is. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Hopefully you did find it useful. Hopefully you did learn something. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. If you are new here and you're catching this for the first time, make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you're not following me on social media, the links are down in the description below. And as always, guys, my name is Argon, and as we say in our Fortnite videos, may you never die to a bush. Peace.